edition of A Delicious Mess from my kitchen outside of Suffolk, Virginia. Today I'm making a recipe from the book 6 Seasons, A New Way with Vegetables by Joshua McFadden. This can be found digitally in our Hoopla app, and we have one on the shelves. The recipe I'm making is potato and roasted cauliflower salad with olives, feta, and arugula. I've got 1 pound of new potatoes. I'm going to cover them with water and salt them. And then once they are set to boil, I'll boil them for 15 minutes. And then I've also got 1 pound of cauliflower that I am going to add olive oil, salt, and then I'm gonna put it on a baking sheet and bake it for 20 to 30 minutes in an oven that's been preheated to 375. So let's get started. The ingredients for today are the pound of new potatoes, kosher salt, and fresh black pepper, the juice of 1 lemon, extra virgin olive oil, 1 pound of cauliflower, 1/3 of a cup of chopped pitted olives. I've got a mix of black and green. And then I'm going to thinly slice about 1/4 of this red onion. And I'm going to roughly chop 1/4 of a cup of these pepperoncini peppers. And I have a teaspoon of fresh thyme, 1/2 of a teaspoon of dried chili flakes. I have 3 ounces of feta cheese in my mixer. And then I'm gonna chop up this handful of arugula leaves to add at the end. All right. One of the tips that Joshua gives in our book is that almost all vegetable salads are best when served cool but not ice cold, or at room temperature. The textures will be looser and the flavors will blossom. That intrigues me. Dump it in. I will set this pot to boil. All right, I've got my new potatoes in salted water set to boil. And while that's there, I'm gonna put some sea salt and extra virgin olive oil on my cauliflower florets. And I'm just kind of tossing to coat these with the oil and the salt. Some of them I need to break up to smaller pieces so that they cook well. And then I put them in a rimmed baking sheet. I'm gonna bake them at 375 for 20 to 30 minutes. Make sure that they're well roasted. First dirty pan. Gonna cut up my broccoli florets a little bit smaller so that I make sure that they get cooked well. The cauliflower should just be 1/4 inch or less. And I think that's pretty tough to measure when cauliflower is such an irregular shape, right? But I'm doing my best here, and it's gonna go into this salad anyway. So we'll stick that in the oven for 20 to 30 minutes. Then I'm gonna wash off my knife so that I can roughly chop my olives, slice my red onion, and chop my pepperoncinis. All right, here we go. I am gonna do some onion slices. The recipe calls for 1/4 of this onion. Does anybody mind if I do a whole half of the red onion? Thinly sliced. Right. Put those slices in there. I'm gonna roughly chop these. And some roughly chopped pepperoncinis too. Now, these are pickled and they're kind of mild, but still add a little bit of heat. Meanwhile, at the end, we're gonna add this feta-based like dressing. And I'm gonna reserve some for my friends who don't consume animal products. So I'm just gonna do an olive oil on their portion of the salad. Oh, I can roughly chop my handful of arugula too. Easy peasy. My potatoes have almost been boiling for 15 minutes, but I just washed this knife so that I can juice my lemon. I am a huge fan of keeping fresh citrus available in my kitchen. It's just so versatile for adding acidity to any foods, and really gives you a fresh zest when you're having salads or seafood. All right, I'm gonna go drain the potatoes and we'll stick them back in the pot and wait to smash them. I've got my boiled potatoes here and I'm just gonna smash them with a fork. The recipe says to create lots of crevices. Just a fork. Smash. And then I'm gonna pour my fresh lemon juice over it and a glug of the extra virgin olive oil. And then I have fresh black pepper and a little bit of sea salt. And then we'll set this aside to cool down while we wait for that cauliflower to finish roasting to finish our dish. So, lemon juice. Olive oil. And salt and pepper. toss this up and set it aside to cool. Smashed potatoes. I'm gonna do the feta now. And you can watch along with me. Okay, so we're dealing with this cheese here. I'm gonna just pulse it a little bit until it's creamy. And then while I'm mixing it, I'm going to add the olive oil. I think I need to scrape that down a little. See, I don't actually own a food processor, so I make do with this blender that I've had for almost 20 years. It's time to put together our potato salad. I'm going to take this lovely roasted cauliflower from the oven. Now, because I want to set aside some for my vegan friend, I'm going to put some of the cauliflower and some of the potato into this where I will not put cheese. And then I'm going to add this cauliflower to the smashed potatoes. A lot of moisture came out of this cauliflower while it was roasting because it was fresh. Now, I like to get my stuff fresh, and I like to get my vegetables from as close to home as possible. You can do that at the Suffolk Farmers Market. There are several small local farms that sell their produce there, and you can get your arugula there and your potatoes and your cauliflower. All right. I'm going to add the olives and the pickled peppers and the sliced onions and thyme. We'll do a little bit here and then put the rest in here. And the chili flakes, just a little bit. And then I'm gonna toss this gently to mix our pieces together. little more salt, a lot more pepper. I really like black pepper. And then a little more lemon juice. And olive oil. And then I'm going to add this feta to our salad and fold it in gently. I'm a big cheese lover, and I think that if I were to season this to taste, I very well might double the amount of cheese in it, especially this creamy, delicious Greek cheese with the Greek flavors of olives. I think I'm gonna have to get a spatula to get the rest of this out. See, guys, I really gotta buy myself a food processor. My spatula is stuck. Oh, poor baby spatula. Okay. I'm gonna fold this in again. Then add a handful of arugula. Put some for my friend. There we go. All right, guys. I've got my roasted cauliflower, potatoes, red onions, and arugula all mixed together with the feta cheese. Let's give it a taste. That is fresh and delicious. Now who's gonna clean up this mess?